Okay, hello again. It's Emily and more sight reading. So today we are going to look at Dein blaues Auge by Johannes Brahms. Yay, Brahms. I love Brahms vocal music, and there is so much of it. So we're upping the difficulty this time with continuous rhythmic motion, but secondly, the crunchiness and the complex harmonies of Brahms. This isn't his trickiest art song. This is actually a really great place to start for a singer just, looking into beginning their study of Brahms. But also for a collaborative pianist that is just looking into the art song rep of Brahms. This is a great place to start. But again, we're going to get some Brahmsian crunchiness. And also, as far as solo piano rep is concerned, once you start looking at Brahms, you're looking at, thicker tone color in your playing and bigger and broader playing. That also exists in Brahms art songs. And, one of the things you have to be aware is balance between your singer and you. I am a big fan of making sure I can hear my singer. That's how I tell balance. But also if I can hear my singer too much, then I'm not necessarily giving them enough support and enough behind them to feel like they're comfy, right? So we have a lot more to think about with rep like Brahms. So let's look at the piece. Okay, so just like before, key signature, time signature, tempo marking. So we are in the key of C major, yay, and we are in common time, 4/4, basic, just easy. Our tempo marking, because we are in German art song rep, our tempo marking is in German. So ziemlich langsam translates, because you're going to look it up, but I'm going to tell you, translates as quite slowly, right? So we are in no hurry. First thing that I like to notice is that my downbeat is forte, right? And then within the second bar, I have a decrescendo. Also, I have my first crunchy moment. I mean, we were all happy about C major until, ooh, no, that's not a C major chord, right? Welcome to Brahms. So the first thing I'm going to do, honestly, when I scan through this piece is look for accidentals, because they are going to be all over the place. I also want to make sure that the melody line is heard. I don't really care about all of those moving eighth notes. That doesn't really need to be there, right? If I have to cut something out, I'm going to cut out the middle voice in this piece, definitely. Same thing over here. I really only need beats 1 and 4, 3, 4, 1. I can cut out all of those moving eighth notes if I need to, as far as decomposing this for a sight read. I also want to be aware of a lot of the dynamic markings, right? So we never quite made it to piano in these first 3 bars, but we have another decrescendo that does take us to piano by the time the singer comes in. But I have a sforzando right there. Like, we're getting just more complicated with everything on the page, right? Our earlier art songs don't have as much on the page for us to read at once and comprehend. We're given a little bit more power to choose. Once we get into Brahms, he wants it how he wants it, right? So if I start on bar 5, that's definitely, and he's completely following the text. I had a comma. Hält so still, ich blicke bis zum Grund, right? So I am echoing the singer in a lot of ways. We talked about how you can cut out all of those eighth notes. Top of the second page, I need to start being aware of all of these ties. They're going to come in a little bit more once we get further on, but a lot of our harmonies tie across the bar line in this piece. More tempo markings. I love that this particular edition gives me hand markings, right? So if I am playing the eighth notes, right? But I need to be aware that this is going to be my right hand as well. So just the distribution between the hands is something to start watching for with Brahms. This is the low key, just so you know, but I chose the low key so it could be in C major. So we had a little bit less to think about. This system change on measure 13, that little duet, here's from the bar before. I don't like that it's on a system change. It's worth catching and being aware. Because at the end of this line, honestly, I'm going to want to look through all of the last of this page. Did you see? So many accidentals. I've played this piece a lot, and I would say, honestly, still, maybe 50% of the time, I play these bars wrong. I mean, it's just... And that one's on a system change with the C flat. Just getting us back down to E flat major at the bottom of the page is going to take a little bit of crunch. I definitely want to make sure that I look at that before I sight read this through. And again, we can cut out the eighth notes. I really only need the quarter notes. I don't need all the extra movement if my brain can't comprehend it, right? That's what I'm going to decompose out. Notice it's on a page change. That G is going to tie over to the top of the next page. Remember how I said we're going to start tying over some harmonies? That ties over. There's a lot in the page before. Go back the right direction. Also, just to be aware, my singer has a turn right there, and it does fit in nicely if they can do it rhythmically. So like from 16, noch Schmerz, das Nachgefühl. It does fit, but be aware that's going to happen if you're reading this with a singer. Again, I've said this a lot in this one, but I'm just going to keep pointing it out. You know, all of my melody lines, I don't need, I didn't mean to cross that out, sorry. I really only need that. I don't need all these moving eighth notes if I need to cut anything out. Also worth noticing before we read this, this is exactly the same as the beginning with an extra 3 beats, right? So yeah, there's a lot you can cut out. You don't have to play all the moving eighth notes, but more than anything, be aware of the chromaticism in this piece. It's a really, I don't know, it's one of my favorites. It's very simple. It's early. But it's a great place to start when you're investigating ROMs. So let's go ahead and read the piece. Okay, so how did it go? This was our first adventure into Brahms. We're going to see some Brahms come up later in this series as well. But it's just so, oh, I don't know, it's just so luscious. And I really enjoy playing Brahms. It's a lot of fun. But again, we have some chromaticism to deal with, and there's a lot to comprehend as far as right notes. I mean, not even right rhythms, just right notes and tonality, and a lot of reading by chords and reading by harmony is really, and just honestly reading so far ahead so you see what's coming before you get there. That's really our biggest help in Brahms. Also, if you have an edition that is clear to read, a lot of older German publications are sometimes very small, and there looks like there's a lot of black on the page. So if you can get a version that is a little bit clearer, that's helpful. So you can actually, have some space to comprehend what you're reading. As always, our next steps are to translate, to sing as we play, and to get some IPA, especially if you're going to be coaching this, right? I'm not going to stop saying it ever. I don't think I can say it enough. Really, truly, singing while you play. That is the answer, especially with something like this that is based such in line and legato. And German is such a legato language. I know that sounds counterintuitive in a lot of ways, but there's so much legato in the language and the line and how you're going to spin the phrase that you as the pianist need to sing it while you play it, so you can find the tempo, so you can find where the singer is going to need to breathe and how much time they need to breathe, stuff like that. So you really can be prepared for your first rehearsal. If you need a PDF or an IPA or a translation of this piece, you can find that at my website, emilywilliamspianist.com. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you for our next piece.